Hi, my name is Travis Mercer, and I'm a comic book artist, a penciler and inker. I've worked mostly for DC Comics and IDW, doing characters like Superman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, Justice League, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, and so on. So I've been doing comics for about 8 years. Started with some smaller publishers, just did consistent work until I worked my way up to those middle publishers, got noticed by the big two, and have been working consistently ever since. Yeah, I think, for a while I was doing some just special projects here and there. One project that I thought was really cool is when I first got to draw Batman, it was actually a barbarian Batman for Todd McFarlane's figure line. So he had a figure line of all of these barbarian figures. So this was the comic that was packaged with the toys. So I thought that was pretty cool because I got to draw a comic and I got toys of it. So that was pretty cool. During the entire project, I didn't get to really interact with Todd at all. It was just through my editor. But the New York Comic Con, after the figures and the comics were released, he actually came to my table and said, loved the comic, loved the work that you did, shook my hand, was just such a nice guy. As Canadian as you could possibly imagine him being. Another memorable is when I got my first mainline gig, which was taking over Cyborg for a few issues with Morgan Hampton. That was just a dream project because I loved the Teen Titans when I was younger. I love all those characters, so that was really cool. And then when I got chosen to fill in for World's Finest, which is one of the top selling DC books, so that was a huge honor and really, really liked that. I mean, honestly, I would say Batman the Animated Series. And there's some folks here, some directors and writers of the animated series that I got to meet, people that I really respect. But, when I was younger, that show was a religion to me and my older brother. And it really influenced us because it was a storytelling style. And what they were going for was just a higher caliber that nobody has ever seen, where it was working. Kids enjoyed the stories. The art style was so different. It was a little bit of Fleischer, but more modern, very deco. Just an interesting style, and they just leaned into everything and took chances. But the quality of storytelling, I mean, the only reason we know Mr. Freeze now is because of that show. That what they did with his history became what his history is in the comics. Harley Quinn, we wouldn't have Harley Quinn without the animated series, and it just influenced so much. Yeah, they airbrushed on construction paper, black construction paper, which is a technique that nobody has heard of, and it was just to make all of the environments dark no matter what. That's what I mean by taking chances. They just did some different things. It all worked. And some of the episodes that I absolutely loved were, I'm a big Robin fan, and I always have been. Probably because I'm a younger brother and I was always forced to be Robin. But, there was episodes that really dove into Robin's personality, Robin's Reckoning, where they went through his entire history. It won an Emmy for a reason. So it took characters that maybe were seen as silly beforehand, like a character like Robin, and took it very seriously. And that affected me and led me to read the series Nightwing and be a fan of that character for my entire life. I actually got to draw that character for the first time published in this last month in my AEW and Justice League. I have a couple scenes with Nightwing. It was fantastic. And I almost did the exact same things that I liked to see in my Nightwing comics, which was multi-figure poses. So, for an example, if you see that top page, I had his movements through the background as he's jumping through a crowd, trying to capture that dynamic acrobatic movement. So that was a lot of fun. I would say go into it with the intention of you have to be able to draw everything. And I know that's such a simple statement, but really think about what the gravity of that is. You have to draw everything. People, men, women, kids, babies, buildings, cars, motorcycles, bicycles, trees, churches, skyscrapers, houses, living rooms, bathrooms, a phone, a cell phone, a phone booth. It goes on, and you have to have the three-dimensional thinking and the understanding of perspective, physics, line weight. It all just plays into that simple statement of you have to be able to figure out how to draw everything, because it's like creating a movie. A writer can write anything in a script. You have to make that anything possible. The grueling reality is that, we pull about 10 to 12-hour days. Oftentimes we work holidays. It can be a tough life. So if this is something that somebody wants to pursue, just be ready. It's not an easy life, but if you're passionate about it, if you I always just say, if you can see yourself doing anything else in life, do that. If you can only see yourself being happy and fulfilled drawing comics, then it's the path for you. Just thank you for the support. Thank you for everybody who's stopped by the table, who's bought books, who buys my books at the shops, who follows me on social media. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And for that continued support. Thank you so much. You can find me on Instagram at Travesty17, Travisty 17. You can also just Google my name, Travis Mercer, and all of my socials are on there. My X, my everything. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.